Hi, it's Jo, and today going to be watching Marvel's Runaways, Season 2, Episode 2, Radio 1, which I feel like this episode means the kids are going to tune into BBC Radio 1. No, but the first episode was brilliant. I can't wait to see where it's going to go next. I'm so excited and so terrified because this show is brilliant, and as we saw last episode with the way it didn't hold back, you know, it wasn't like a nice gentle easing you into the season. It was bam, Pride have murdered someone and the kids are dealing with it. Like, oh my goodness, I can't wait, let's go. You need to talk. Come on, guys. Molly. Gert. Molly can catch it.
Molly, no! We survived.
Wait, guys.
Where's Carolina?
Where's Carolina?
You can do it.
I did that.
That's my girl.
I don't think she's falling for him or anything. I think she's just learning about herself.
Bite-sized old lace snacks. Gross.
I love old ladies.
Fine. Who am I to judge the dietary habits of a homeless dinosaur?
Jonah guys seem pretty determined. I'm not sure one cement truck is gonna stop.
Carolina, tell them.
Sometimes an earthquake is just an earthquake.
Oh no, is she actually being trusting of him?
Sometimes. But Wilder, I'm sick of this secretive shit. What job?
Yeah, he's right. You gotta tell us.
Shocking that you agree with Chase.
Wow, thanks for that refreshing dose of patriarchal thinking. Because I can't have an opinion of my own.
Oh boy, now you've done it.
You know what I'm leaving?
Guys, just talk in calm voices and tell each other things.
You have to tell us. Our parents lied to us every day of our lives. If we're gonna be different, we gotta trust each other.
Thank
That
you,
means
Molly.
No more secrets.
Fine, I'm working for Darius.
Okay, I'm glad you did tell them.
I know how valuable you are to Pride.
It's very good at manipulating.
Getting a healthy Victor back is my best chance at getting Chase home.
Do you think having no Victor around would probably get Chase home more easily?
About those plans.
Or at least it would be how I'd want to get my child home. This is very risky.
You okay?
Deserted. Do you want me to rip out the front gate?
No. Nope. Come on.
She's controlling them because it's not all over her. Everything's activated. Which also means there's a lot of noise. I wouldn't hear anyone else coming in. Gina's probably got it with her. Oh dear. We didn't check very well to see that no one was home.
That is sick. You're not gonna believe what I
Very easily distracted.
Is it
not yet.
with everything going on right now? How is you got the power on? Like you said you would 3 hours ago? Can you do that or not?
Yeah. Yeah. The interior.
This is not the way their relationship is going to develop.
Great. Please go be magical.
It's like a puppy being kicked.
Talking about this house. Or us. I mean, our relationship.
Yeah, I got what you meant by us. Thanks.
They do need to have this talk.
You've been sharing a sleeping bag.
For warmth. And because that was shockingly insightful. Watch out for splitters.
Good. We can do this however you want.
That's really sweet.
So you're saying you do want to do the two of us are a thing?
That is what I'm saying. You know, for someone so smart, you're...
It's not having them makes everything a lot harder.
I'm glad they're not ignoring that Gert with her anxiety and everything, because it's a
including stuff
really
that
important thing
makes me feel.
to represent.
Just thinking about sex. I got that house to back her up.
They're so cute.
Hey,
Looking back to stress. First confrontation with the parent this season.
We've lost so much already. Please just come home.
Don't play us Amy card.
it's too late now. I know they're a lie.
They're not.
This family can't be put back together.
It's like the parents all genuinely care about their children. Victor Stein aside. But doesn't make it all okay. It doesn't mean that you just forgive them. They need that staff. Go at her all at once. Don't do it one by one. Yes, Molly.
That's your Graciela.
Ugh. Oh my god. This is to the pool. Oh my goodness, is she okay? Oh my god. Yep, they don't care about the other kids. Tina's a psychopath.
I'm coming for you, Molly.
Can you just stand there? Oh my god.
Or question whether I love you.
In some ways that love makes it worse.
Stay and work this out.
You made that choice a long time ago for
Or leave
Nico.
forever. I didn't think she would take it.
Well, you're stupid then, aren't you?
What it did to you. Wonder what happens with it in the hands of a volatile 16-year-old.
Oh god. What did it do to her? I think we might have seen glimpses of that in the trailer.
Just need to sit for a sec.
You're just gonna need to sleep. Which will give them time to talk.
Pissed at your homicidal maniac. I'm a mother. All I ever did.
Nico's just lashing out because she's
And I
hurting.
had-
It's
okay,
not.
I'm just saying. We all need to do better. I'm sorry I let you down.
You didn't. She's just hurting and lashing out. The first person she saw. These kids and their realistic reactions.
It's way more like 40-60.
Is that a 40% chance we're gonna get electrocuted, or
It's a 100% chance you're gonna be blown away by my engineering prowess.
blown away feels like a portrait of Ford.
There are things that I'm good at.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Yep.
What did you do?
Oh, Chase.
Is it good?
Don't put it in the box. At least Alex isn't really too upset about Nico and Carolina anymore. But I do like her.
No, this place is our last shot.
Just hide.
Surviving.
Behind the wall.
I'm gonna go find old Lisa, make sure she doesn't eat them. If they go alive. After that, if you're screaming, it probably won't be me that needs help.
Someone's been in here. Yeah, tweakers. Probably
Chase's distraction did not go very well.
pretty new.
Come.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, great timing, Chase.
Chase is just really not having a good series. He's messing everything up.
My distraction worked.
Oh,
And
we did it.
we did.
Turn those outside lights off though now,
See if
please.
that old blender in the kitchen works.
What? Why is that your first thought?
Power's on, thanks to Chase and Bert.
That's all I wanted.
We got the staff one back. We're gonna figure out how to use our powers together.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be our room. The decor is very Lincoln. If you want. I saw you put some stuff in the one down the hall. This one's actually a little colder. There must be a draft coming from somewhere. Well, luckily, I'm really good at warming you up.
I want to be alone.
Oh, Molly. Just pulling away. Molly, talk to the others before you do anything.
Say we had to frame an innocent person.
They're gonna frame Darius or someone because they've got a history with him, haven't they? And that would hurt Alex in the present.
You can lose the attitude. I come in peace this time. I've known you. You gonna like this one.
Can't trust anyone.
Games, all right?
Alex is silly to trust him because he knows that with their history he'd do anything to get one over on his dad. Okay, so that felt like a really short episode. Like, where's the rest of it? Technically, I have it. I can press play on it in a minute. I'm gonna lose track of which episode was which with watching them all in a row, but I'm loving this season. I like that they haven't caved into pressure and kind of ramped up the pace, in the sense that a lot of action happens, a lot happens each episode, but it still kind of feels, it doesn't feel rushed. It feels like we are still getting to explore the characters and feel them out. I love that they haven't just glossed over Gert's anxiety, the fact that, you know, she has anxiety that she was medicated for. She would be struggling to cope with it, to get on with it, and it doesn't make her completely like she just curls up on the floor and can't do anything. She's still able to do things to be helpful, but she would struggle with it. And I like that, you know, Chase is just being there for her. I mean, he might not always say the right thing, he might not always do the right thing, but he's genuinely not being judgmental. He's just trying to support her however he can. And just, I'm glad that, you know, that whole scene where he was like, I found a really cool car, and she was like, oh, you used it, and he was like, I'm gonna do it. It's just their relationship. I'm so glad they finally talked about it and admitted that they both want something. And I mean, they're kids I love it. Same with Nico and Carolina, but as kids you can't guarantee these relationships are going to last forever, but it's really lovely to watch them blossom and grow, and to have these characters be able to be there for each other. So I was particularly glad this episode that Gert and Chase had that conversation. And just this season, true to character, everything Chase does just doesn't go well, and I hope at some point he's going to do something successfully, because, you know, first thing from the watch on Lost Sophistic Guns, the first time he caused power outage across the area, like, oh, and then his distraction came like 7 hours late. Oh dear. But again, that's true to his character. But he did get the power on, you know, he does have skills, he isn't stupid. I think his like technical ability was something they've expanded on from the comics or something, but I like that in the show, that, you know, kind of they all have their area where they are useful. I love Gert's connection with Old Lace so much. It's just, when I started this show, I honestly had no idea there was going to be a dinosaur, and then when there was a dinosaur, I had no idea I was going to be so attached to the dinosaur. Old Lace is the best. Molly, oh Molly, she's been had a really, like, of all the kids, I mean, she's the youngest, which is a huge fact. You know, she's a good couple of years younger than them, and then she saw her parents in that video. She actually was forced to leave home, which is the thing, and like everything that happened there. And then she said, well, this woman who was her last connection to her family, that was her last blood relative, was murdered because of something to do with Molly, because Molly sent her the video because she cared about Molly, really, was why she was murdered. Now obviously that is not Molly's fault in the slightest, but you can see how kind of all of that playing in Molly's head, and that these people that are their parents murdered her, and then, you know, Tina nearly killed Molly. I think she is definitely in a very volatile place, and she's not feeling like she can go to Gert, whereas last season she might have gone to Gert, and, you know, we saw in the pilot, they, you know, she sang her the lullaby, and this episode she said no, and then she snuck out to do God knows what. So I'm worried for Molly. Then you have Alex and what he's up to with Darius, and I think Alex is very trusting in this, the fact that, you know, Darius said, oh, just you not being with your dad is a win for me because he's worrying, whereas there's obviously Darius has other plans, and I think Alex should be able to see through that a little bit. I think he's definitely feeling a little bit out of place in the group, because you've got the two couples and then Molly and then Alex, and Alex is off away from them a little bit, partly I think because he is hurt by Nico not being with him and being with Carolina, although he has moved on very quickly, but also just they've all got positions they slot into, and although he is the leader, in terms of that personal relationship at the moment, he's a little bit on the outside, and I don't think it helps that he keeps going off and spending so much of the day on his own away from them, because they have group meetings like the last one, they have little moments which he's not been part of. And, you know, and I don't think they're going down the comic route with him, so I hope that does change for his character, and that they can all become one big happy family, or one big dysfunctional, happy most of the time family. But he's obviously really fancies that girl whose name I can't remember it, and I hate, like, Livy or something, I think might be her name. Obviously, I'd like to think she's being genuine with him. I think she doesn't know that Darius and her sister are using him, but Alex isn't aware of everything going on with there. Maybe he should be a little bit more cautious to it. But especially after finding out your parents have been lying to you, but I get why he isn't, especially because they are just kids, they're going to do dumb things, they're going to make mistakes, they're not trained spies, they're children who have had a very privileged life up till now. Then you have Nico and Carolina, and Nico with her parents, you know, her dad is still trying to play the sweet, caring dad, even though everything he's done just cancels that out, it's meaningless after all the things he's done. And then her mother, I mean, Tina is definitely my, like, second least favourite parent. She is awful. I mean, she just, without thinking, murdered Graciela, and then without thinking, she just froze the swimming pool with Molly in it, and then she was going to keep hitting Carolina. Like, she doesn't have a filter between her actions. And something that Robert said, well, that is his name, isn't it? I'm like losing my mind here. Something he said about the staff and the effect it had on her. Has that made her lose some of her morals and her boundaries? Is that why she can be so cold and kind of switch into this just kill mode? I believe that she loves Nico, but, you know, that doesn't make everything okay. Just because your parent loves you doesn't mean that you can forgive them for being a terrible person. And after she just, you know, threw the swimming pool with Molly in it, tried to like beat Carolina to death, and then she turns to Nico and goes, but it's all okay because I love you. No, it's not all okay because you love her. And so that ultimatum she gave her was quite harsh. I feel like on the battlefield that would definitely be a thing. We also saw that last season where they did clash. But I don't know, and then giving her the staff, and then Robert saying, oh, you know what it did to you, what's it going to do to a volatile 16-year-old? Does that mean that she's kind of wanting it to have adverse effects on Nico, so maybe Nico will go to her for help or something? I don't know, but it's hard because all the parents are genuine in their love for their children, but that doesn't make it okay, and the lengths they're willing to go to for that love are not okay. And I'm loving it, and I'm also, it's a lot. I like that they're acknowledging that Janet Stein is not stupid, that she is, you know, perhaps if she'd not stopped working and not stopped trying to like doing her engineering-y things, then maybe, I mean, I'm really good at the technical terms, so you can tell I'm a scientist. Not. If she'd continued in that vein and not sort of taken a step back, being just a mother and a wife, because I think Victor Stein would not have coped very well with a wife achieving as much, if not more than him. I think he would have definitely squashed her potential down beyond even just being a mother and her choosing to be with Chase. I think their home life, there was no room for her to be some genius next to him. So if she had continued in that, then maybe she would be paralleling him now. But I like that she is standing up for herself a bit more this season. I mean, I don't particularly like her. She's one of the parents. I don't like any of the parents. And, you know, she stayed in that situation. And I know that there's a whole dynamic with abuse. And I know that she was also a victim of abuse. But, like, she didn't put Chase first at any point during their home life. She just stayed and stayed and stayed with him despite everything that was happening. And I get that it's not as easy as just why didn't she leave, but at the same time I don't particularly like her for it. But I like that she's not just letting people push her over anymore. She's making strides. You know, she stood up to Jonah when she sort of said, you know, I'm just as good as him, I can read it, and Jonah was an idiot. Now it's interesting because Victor specifically asked for Janet. Now did he just want Janet to get him the tablet with the stuff on it, or does he want Janet there too? And I could see Jonah not wanting to let them be together because they could plot or something. I don't know. Jonah must know he can't trust them all. Then Carolina, she seemed a little bit like, I don't think the earthquake was Jonah's fault, and it's like, don't lose yourself in that. I don't think ultimately she will. I do think she's not going to ever trust him. I think she's just going to use him for information, but I'm worried that she might get a little bit swayed. And to be honest, for any point in the show, any of the kids fall a little bit back under the spell of their parents, I will not blame them. For one thing, they're kids, and for one thing, it's really hard when your parents disappoint you, when your parents prove to not be the people you thought they might be, when they do something that hurts you and hurts other people, and you have to kind of just coping with that. I mean, they're so young, and I think it would be very easy under the right circumstances for any of them to temporarily or just fall in with their parents, to go back with them to help them. I hope it doesn't happen, but that your parents are supposed to be there for you, and it's hard to, especially if you had a positive view with them already, or you've spent all of your life desperate for them to love you. I think if there is a situation where they then show that to you, it is really hard to remember and to stay strong and to stay angry. So going forward, I will forgive any of the kids if they have a temporary moment where they fall in with their parents, and I think the other kids would ultimately eventually forgive them as well. But basically, I'm just hypothesizing about things that could happen here. This show, I can't believe it's only been 2 episodes. I feel like I've been watching it all day, and I'm just so happy. I'm loving it. So yeah, see you next week. Thank you for watching.